All right, guys, now that you have created your grid on your master page for Bee Dates, we are going to add in the additional elements. So you are going to really start to design what you want your dates pages to look like. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our type tool. We are going to draw a box for our month, and we are just going to type in the word month. Then we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to draw a box for the year. And for this year, you guys can either start in January of 2022, or you can start with like May of 2021. It's going to be up to you. So I'm just going to start with 2022. And then I'm going to come back in and I can pick my fonts. So I'm going to start to design my fonts the way that I want them to look every single month. And so that's going to mean increasing the size, potentially changing the color, maybe changing the alignment, using my selection tool to move it around in the place that works best for what I want. And you guys are going to be making these creative efforts. You can use whatever font you want, whatever color you want, whatever size you want. This is where you get to be creative about your design. So I'm going to pause here. All right, once you have something that says month and then the year that you're going to use, now we're going to move on to adding our days of the week. So we're going to take our type tool, and we want them to be the exact same width as each of our columns. So we're going to click and drag our first box, and we're going to type in the word Sunday. We're going to do the same thing as we did before, but this time it's just a little bit easier, and I'm going to center mine with my type tool. I'm going to take this box and I'm going to copy it with Control C and then paste it with Control V. And then I'm going to move it above and resize it just a bit, because remember, the weekday ones are smaller. Bring it down to line it up. And I'm going to change this to Monday. So I'll go back to my selection tool, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to line up all of these boxes along my days of the week. And again, when I get to Saturday, I will have to make adjustments, because remember, Saturday is going to be a larger box like Sunday was. So again, I'm just doing Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and then using my selection tool to move it, and my selection tool to resize my boxes. Okay, so now what I would do is I'm going to pause my video, but I'm going to go through, I'm going to change the font, and I'm going to change the names to be the days of the week. So pause here, go through, change your days of the week, and then change the font to something that you like. So once I've changed the font and the names of all my days of the week, I'm going to adjust the size, but I want to adjust it based off of Wednesday, because Wednesday is the longest word out of the days of the week. So I want to make sure that they're all equal and they all fit, but I have to go off the largest one. So I can come up here and I can change my size just a few times. And it looks like 16 is probably going to be my max. So then I'm going to come with my type tool and I'm going to change all of my fonts to 16. So I can come in here and I can type and do that. And that way I have everything uniform. So what you're trying to do is, again, you're trying to make a template so that you don't have to go in and make these changes every single month. You can just go in and make a few changes every single month. So again, just changing all of these to 16, and then I may need to adjust my alignment, it looks like. So paying attention to those little details. Does everything line up perfectly? Does everything match? Does everything look like it's coordinated? And so I might need to take my selection tool. And remember, I can always use my arrow keys to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned. All right, so I've got my days of the week. Now I need to add my numbers to each of the months. So you guys are going to decide, do you want your numbers to be in the top left corner, top right, in the middle, at the bottom? You decide where you want it to be, and it's up to you. You can also decide if you want it to have a frame. So if you want to have a little box around it to help separate the number, you can come up here and you can change your stroke. And you can have that stroke when you draw your next text box. And so you'll see that I changed the stroke on here. On Sunday, I'm going to change it back, but you'll see how it has an outline around it now. So if you wanted to do something like that, you can. But you're going to take your type tool and you're going to come in whatever corner you are going to be working with, and you're going to draw yourself a little text box. And in this text box, we are going to type the number 99. And this is where you may want to really pay attention to alignment, your size of your font, and how everything looks. So I'm going to do it a little bit bigger. And then I want to align it in the center of my box. And then I'm going to use my selection tool to either resize the box or move it around until I get it exactly where I want. And so something that would be beneficial at this point too is going back to that view, going to screen mode, and then your preview. That way you can kind of see, hey, exactly where is this falling? So once I have it in the position that I want, and I could always resize it a little bit here, guys, just to look more concise. I'm going to do Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste. And I'm going to move this guy in perfect alignment. You'll see those little green lines that show me I'm in alignment so that I have it in this next box. I'm going to copy and paste and do this 7 times or 6 times. Making sure it's in a line, copy and paste, Control-C, Control-V is copy and paste, lining it up, Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, and continuing to do this for all 7 days. Now do not do this for all 35 boxes. Just do this for the first 7. Oh. And remember, Control-Z allows you to undo something if you did something wrong like I did there. It looks like I need to adjust my alignment. There we go. And I'm actually going to move those over just a little bit too. Okay, once I have all my numbers in my boxes the way that I want them to look, I can copy all 7 of them at once. So I'm going to take my selection tool, click on the first one, and then hold down my Shift key. I'm going to click on the second one while still holding down Shift and click on all of the other ones, making sure that I continue to hold down Shift. Once I click on the last one, I can release my Shift key, and I can do Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste. And it's going to paste all 7 of them. And then what I can do is I can move them as a group. So I can come right here, and I can align them the exact same way I did with my first row. Control-C, Control-V again. Move them in an alignment, and just quickly do this for all of my boxes. And you'll see I'm using that little green guide to keep them in a line with each other. So now I have this month template already that I can repeatedly use on all of my future months, on all of my other pages. So I'm going to pause my video and take some time to add in some color elements, some maybe other shapes, and that's what I want you guys to do too. You're going to design it. Now the colors may change, but you'll want the overall theme to stay the same. So I'm going to pause here, and when I return, it will have the look of a new template. All right, so as you guys can see, I've added some shapes with some colors. I've added a little bit of design. Obviously, each month I can go through and I can change these background colors so they can match the theme. You know, maybe for February, I changed this color to red. For August, I changed it to yellow for like super sunny summers or whatever it is. I can go through and I can make adjustments, but the basic format will stay the same. And the only thing I'm going to have to change is the numbers, the month, and then the colors, and if I want to add any pictures. So it makes it really easy instead of having to redo this and recreate this every single month. So this is how you make your master page for your dates. Continue on to part 3, where we will talk about making your master page for your picture side of the month, and then we will have one about applying those master pages as well.